Thank you for checking out this very special bonus episode where Tesha and I chat with fellow podcaster Amanda Gurman on Instagram Live about some of the trials of motherhood and our very new book, Momming Hard, which you can pre-order directly through me or Amanda. We hope you enjoy. You're listening to Now What, a podcast where we celebrate the human spirit by sharing stories of strength and resilience.
For those going through hard times or looking to get inspired to change their own life, we're your hosts, Jen and Tesha.
Hey, just waiting for Jen and Amanda to join us. Jen is my co-host, obviously, and Amanda has her own podcast called Honest as a Mother, and both Jen and I have been on that. Jen and Amanda actually just launched a book today. Pre-orders launched today. So we're going to talk a little bit about that and co-authoring. Hello.
Hi. I thought it would be quieter out here, but I've got barking animals.
This is it. Such is life.
This is real life. And that's, I think, yeah, Amanda should be here, I think, requesting any minute.
Yep, I'm looking. Nothing yet, but how have pre-orders been going?
They've been going pretty well. I had a few in this morning. I actually had one before I even woke up.
Woo!
I'm so worried
I love
for
the
a
way
second.
how like Amanda, you and I are set up next to each other, and Tisha's like up top.
You're the teacher. Isn't that funny?
And I am a teacher. And
yes.
And I thought to myself, I don't know if I've ever looked more like a teacher. Like, do you start to look like you're the longer you're in it?
I feel like yes.
When I first got these glasses, my kids kept saying to me, you look like a teacher. I'm like, I am a teacher. Like, I have been a teacher. And they're like, yeah, but you look like a teacher. I'm like, what did I look like before?
That's hilarious. I love that.
Well, I actually, because I'm somewhere right now in the Boston area that's open, so I have makeup on
because
I'm going out for dinner.
I'm even more. Do you get to sit inside?
Yep.
What is that like?
It's coming.
I mean, when I did it in Vermont, everything was still really spread out. I feel like I went out with my sister on Friday night, and in Boston, things were closer. We're going to be going out in the suburbs tonight, so I'm not sure yet what to expect. So we'll see. But
well, I am jealous of how like gorge you are. I am like hospital chic. Straight
this is
from
mom
home.
life, though, right? I think this is
totally.
part of like what is so, I think, hard. And I don't know if you wrote about it in your chapter, but somebody definitely did that like shift of before you're a mom and like how you kind of lose your identity. Because I didn't wear a ton of makeup before, but I put on makeup and like cute clothes. And then I became a mom.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's yoga pants and tied back hair and
yes.
Right?
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. Actually, I cut all my hair off so that I would stop tying my hair up. But then thanks COVID, now it's back on my head.
Yeah.
But like, that's so true. Like I became a mom and I stopped doing things for myself, and I would like not put makeup on and throw my hair on top of my head. And like, it got to the extreme where I cut all my hair off just so I would like put some effort into myself every morning.
Yeah.
I love how you tricked yourself to do it.
Yeah.
I did. And guess what? It's not working out now, is it?
Wow.
It's okay.
Start strong in September. I'm like, this is the year I'm going to start like putting makeup on. I'm going to do my hair every day, and I'm going to dress. I would like be strong for a month.
I know.
I'll just,
it's so true.
Because between the work and the momming and all of that, a lot of us stop prioritizing ourselves, right? And we stop putting that effort into not just our appearance, but just, I think, into self-care in general.
Totally. Well, I also think there's an argument that taking that little bit of time on your appearance impacts your mental health.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
My sister was saying that the other day. She has 2 little ones as well, and she was saying how she hasn't like blown dry her hair or even put like a hot tool to it in forever, and she did, I think, when she had a doctor's appointment a month or so ago. She's like, I mean, I admit that I do feel better when I just take those extra 5 minutes. I just never do it.
Yeah, you don't. I felt like so much better. Like 2 weeks ago, I went out and I bought like pedicure stuff and I bought a hair mask, and it was like, why the hell don't I do this more often? Like, why is this like a little thing that I'm doing on a Friday night? Like, it should just be done because it makes me feel so good.
And I started doing my own nails, and somehow I ended up feeling like I actually enjoyed that more than going for a random once a month manicure. Just taking that time to actually do something just for myself.
Yeah. Do you want to know the best part about it? Is that the kids can't ask you for anything.
Because your nails
are true.
Yes.
It's true.
Yes.
But see, my kids are like, can you paint my nails?
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, this is for me.
The other fun wasn't when they say, can we paint your nails?
Oh, yeah, that happened. No. Hard no.
I've never asked for that, mine.
You know what's going to happen now?
It's pretty long, but yeah.
They do love it. So, Amanda, what is, like, give us, like, a 2-line, what is your chapter about? Because so basically, for anybody who doesn't know, who hasn't been creeping Amanda's feed or my feed, Mommy Heart is an anthology with stories of, 23 different women? 20? I don't remember the total.
22,
a lot.
20 something.
A lot.
Yeah.
Of amazing women with different perspectives on what is really hard in motherhood. So why don't you share what you wrote about?
Yeah, so I wrote about, you hit the nail on the head. I did write about the transition to motherhood and how fucking hard it was and how I felt like no one talked about it at all. And then when I started asking questions, they were like, well, yeah, you're a mom. What did you expect? And I was like, no, I'm not here for this. And then again, when I had my daughter, I felt like totally prepped because I had survived the newborn stage and everything else. And then it was nothing as I expected. And I struggled really bad with postpartum depression and postpartum anxiety. And so I wrote about also struggling with your mental health while trying to be a mom, which was the hardest thing I've ever done.
Yeah, for sure.
What about you, Jen?
So my chapter, I was a part of a co-author project that released in September called Self-Love Club Volume 2. And it's kind of a continuation of that, but it stands alone as well. I wrote about what it was like to parent while grieving and parenting grieving children while in the isolation of a pandemic and dealing with the firsts and the holidays. And there were firsts without my partner, but there were also the first time I wasn't with my family for Christmas in 43 years. And, because my family is in the US and I was in Toronto. And so I wrote about that. And what's really interesting, and if people have read anything that I write very much in the moment what I'm dealing with. And my boys gave me the perfect wrap up for my chapter. It was this really kind of picture perfect moment that they gave me to describe that really tied it together, which was just pretty fortuitous.
I can't wait to read it.
Yeah, Tesha actually got to read it.
Give me the scoop, Tesha.
We're each other's proofers before submission.
Yeah.
I love it. So, Tesha, I know that you're doing a co-author project too.
Same publisher, right?
Yes.
And the book I'm writing for is called WTF Am I Even Doing? So what the fuck am I even doing? And that none of us actually have, but there's a tendency that other people haven't figured out.
Totally.
And I did actually write about motherhood and kind of that comparing myself to other mothers and feeling like they had it figured out while I didn't, because it's hard. It's
right?
hard. Yeah, I mean, the chapter could probably have just as easily been this book, but yeah. So, and I submitted that yesterday.
Yeah,
so
you did.
Exciting.
That for me and proof for her. So we've read each other's.
Awesome.
I haven't read yours, so
no.
You will soon.
If we order a copy now, which I did.
It comes mid-July. You did.
Yeah,
yes.
mid-July.
So yeah, if you haven't ordered your copy, then you should order it, and then it's a nice summer read, right?
And so what's really cool about this structure, which anybody who bought from me during Self-Love Club Volume 2, that was off of Amazon. This time you're purchasing directly from the author. So you're pre-ordering with Amanda, you're pre-ordering with me, you're pre-ordering with any of the other amazing women that are in this book. And we're all you're really directly supporting the author that you choose to when you make your purchase, which is really amazing. And like, I didn't ever know who bought the book if they didn't tell me they had in the past. So I love the idea that I can like personally thank people for their support in this way. So that's really, I think, special and amazing. And maybe as a purchaser, it doesn't mean anything, but as the author, I really love that.
Yeah, me too. It like, I have been like a bit overwhelmed by the amount of support. Like, it's just, it feels so good to know that someone wants to read like what you wrote, and then knowing that they're also going to get this like entire book of amazing other women, because maybe whoever purchased from me doesn't relate directly to mine, but might read yours, Jen, and be like, oh my God, I relate to this so much.
Right.
Yeah.
Or, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if somebody would buy mine and be like, yeah, I know what's going on with her. Like, I want to read the other women's stories, or, you know.
For sure. Exactly.
And that's what I was saying is one of the benefits of having a book with so many different authors is that you get so many different perspectives. So there's bound to be something in there that resonates with you, right?
Yeah, that's what's great about it. And one of my girlfriends who bought the Self-Love Club book loved that she could just like take that one little bite of one chapter before she went to bed, and like maybe put it away for a couple days, and when she felt like she needed another one, go for it. So it's an easy read because of that, I think.
Yeah.
I have a question for both of you guys. What drew you to participate in the projects that you chose to?
Tesha, do you want to go first?
Sure. There's part of me that always has felt that I should probably write a book one day, but that seems really big and it seems like a lot. And writing a chapter seems so much more manageable. And I hadn't been really writing. And then after I was diagnosed with cancer and PTSD, and I started looking at my life and thinking about this idea that I needed to start doing things for myself and caring for myself. And I found really cathartic. And I actually wrote 2 chapters for the book that I'm co-authoring, and then I submitted one. But the other chapter I'm saving. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but just that process of writing it and telling your story in sort of a linear way, there was healing for me in that.
Yeah.
And that maybe I could share my story, and somebody else who's maybe struggling could read my story, and then, you know, maybe feel less alone.
Yeah. Agreed. That is very similar to why I wrote, and I feel the exact same way. I've like always said my whole life, I want to write a book, and I feel like so many things have happened in my life that I'm like, okay, I could write a book on this. But again, it's like so overwhelming to think about like an entire book. So someone had sent me Courtney's information, and like the topic couldn't have been more perfect to what I was going through at the moment. And I feel the same way. It was so healing to write my journey down on paper, and then just the fact that someone else might read it, even if it's just one person, and they feel like I felt, or they can just say me too, or I can just make them feel normal, then that's it. That's all I want.
And I think this theme fits, I mean, I think it fits so well with your podcast and what you're doing there about motherhood, and also with our podcast as well.
Totally.
You know, because we just want to share personal stories and hope that people find some connection and some healing in listening and sharing those stories. So, and the writing is kind of, it goes hand in hand with that, right?
Yeah.
Thanks,
Jen.
Well, so that's what you guys are talking about really is what drew me to the first project I participated in. And then I knew I wanted to write more. People were like, you have to write a book. And I was like, oh, I still don't think I can do a whole book. And like the big joke with my last project was that like I submitted my chapter at like the 11th hour. Like they were getting ready to go to press, and I submitted my chapter, or they had to have the final layout done, and I submitted my chapter. And so I was like, I know I do not have the discipline to ever attempt a whole book. So when Courtney came out with the title of this book, Momming Hard, And ever since I started like my public Instagram account and kind of building this following, a hashtag I use on every single post is momming is hard. From like the second when I opened the account in 2017, that was a big piece of what I was doing. And so it was like, well, yes, I have to do this.
Yeah.
It's fate.
Has you written all over it.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
there's no, although it's funny when the project Tesha's participating in came out, I was like, well, that's a good one too. Like but you know, my coach Liat actually said to me, she goes, you're not allowed to co-author anymore. She's like, goes, you've done it. You turned it in on time this time. You were like on top of it. So, you know, hopefully someday I will put a whole thing together.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Yeah. That would be awesome. I'd read it.
It's overwhelming to like think about, but I mean,
Oh,
I
yeah.
have like admittedly like not so much as like a full chapter as you wrote to Tesha, but I definitely have like some ongoing documents where when inspiration strikes, I do write. And it's always hard because again, I'm very much like, I'm feeling this now. I have to put it out into the world.
Mm-hmm.
So to hold it back from like say my blog or my Instagram where I would normally put things. So that's an interesting kind of like thing to navigate.
Surviving the 5 years writing, you got this. You can totally write a whole book.
She's one of our co-authors.
Naturalette says, go for it, Jen.
Aw, thanks, guys.
See, you gotta do it.
It's it's in process. It's in progress. It's it's just there's a lot going on between this pre-order and our podcast, which has been time consuming in like the best possible way. I think you'll agree,
Right.
Tesha.
Yeah.
So it's about finding the brain space to do it, which I think again is a lot of being a mom.
Yeah, totally. We learn how to multitask through all of these thoughts.
Oh my God, 100%.
Yeah.
So Amanda, well, your Instagram handle is here and people can DM you through that if they want to purchase, right?
Yes, you can.
And you can DM me through mine, or I have a link in my bio that you can purchase directly from my website. And I know Amanda is running a really great giveaway.
Yes, I'm doing a giveaway with my best friend who has a really amazing Instagram page. Inspired by I is her Instagram page. She makes really amazing handmade wood signs. Her make a sign that says "Mommin' ain't easy," and so I'm gonna give that away and a Starbucks gift card because every mom needs more coffee
or tea, whatever their caffeine of choice is, right?
Yeah, or brownies.
Yeah,
whatever.
I mean, Tesha and I joke that we founded the podcast over copious amounts of coffee.
Right?
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah. Yeah. Perkins, because they would actually bring you like the crap. So you don't have to keep asking them to refill it. They bring you like pot and we would finish it.
And sometimes get more.
I love this. This is why you guys are my people. I knew there was a reason I liked the two of you.
Yeah. And
love it.
When listening, we should do a shout out to Courtney.
Yes.
Who might be interested in what kind of co-authoring projects she might have coming up. You can find her at LeadHer
Inc. or LeadHer Publishing. And I think we can tag her when we post this to the feed or store or IGTV. We'll tag Courtney because she's got a few projects out there. I think there's one called Body Bliss, which is about body positivity. She's actually doing a collaborative project, although I don't know if it's still open, with one of the authors, Sharana from our project. There's a lot of amazing things. Or if you've ever feel like you've had a book in you, Courtney can also takes individual authors through it as well. So yeah, she's the one that kind of made this all happen, guys.
Yeah. And I can't wait to see you, Jen. Like, I'm making this happen. Like, there's a lot of LOLs happening, but the three of us are drinking at some point to celebrate.
Well, I was serious when I said when I come back to Toronto in early July, outside gatherings best be allowed because I have a brand new deck that needs christening, and I would like to have a little book get together.
I think right now we can have 10, and I see 3, so we can have 7 more.
Done.
Amazing. All right. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me, guys.
Oh, thank you so much.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to Now What? If you've enjoyed this episode, leave us a review. Your ratings and reviews help more people like you find our podcast.
Don't forget to subscribe and share this episode with someone you think would love it. And make sure to find us on Instagram at nowwhat_podcast. Until next time, we're Tesha and Jen. Remember, your hard times are the chance to write another chapter.